Hello again, welcome to another Verbling class. My name is Hamish, and in this hour we are going to take a good look at some practice questions and answers for interviews, job interviews with English-speaking companies. First 2 minutes of this class are for, sorry, 1 second, let me check the sound there, there we go. First 2 minutes of this class are for Verbling premium users, so if you have a premium membership and you can use those reservations to join the classes, that you want to make sure that you get a place at the classroom table. So that's what they. Yes, let me just see if I've got a link for you there about that, because if you want to think about upgrading that membership, that's a great opportunity for you to make sure you can get a place at the classes that you really want to be at. So there we go. So, and after those 2 minutes elapse, then that join class button will light up green, I hope, for everyone else, and you can join me here. But in the meantime, let me say hello to students who are already here in class. First of all, let me say hello to Adam. Hello, Adam.
Hello. Hello, teacher.
How are you today?
Fine, thank you. Great.
Excellent. I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. It is a beautiful day outside. Hey, how's the weather with you?
Fine. The work. You mean the work, right?
Oh, the weather. I mean the weather.
The weather.
Yeah.
The weather is good. Yes. Great. Sunny and nice.
Excellent. But you can tell me. You can speak about that as well. Are you looking for work? Are you happy with your job?
Yes, I'm looking for to enhance my career and to more challenging work.
Yeah. Oh, okay. And what kind of work? What kind of work are you looking for?
For implementation of the hospital management information system, hospital automation.
Oh, okay. I got it. Okay, let me take a note of that. That's interesting. I really look forward to hearing some of your answers and some of your discussion during this class. And we're going to look at three quite important questions that you might get asked at a job interview. I think that first one is one you probably will get asked at a job interview. So I look forward to practicing with you today. Thanks for joining us. Let me say hello to everyone else while we're here. Jose, hello. How are you today?
Hamish, how are you? I believe it's good afternoon for you.
Oh, it's good morning to me. It's good morning for me. It's good morning for me. It's but I just sound like I'm in the UK, but I'm in Nashville, Tennessee. So we're on we are, I think, 6 hours behind GMT or something anyway. But yes, it's 8 o'clock with us. Tell me, remind me, Jose, where are you from?
Oh, we're from and this is Buenos Aires, actually.
I'm going to need that again. I'm sorry, Jose. There was distortion on the sound. Can you tell me again, please?
Sure. Argentina and Buenos Aires.
Okay, I think I got that. Now, tell me, are you looking for work at the moment?
Not too much. I'm happy with my actually my wife and have a couple of students that are so we are paying for them.
Okay, Jose, I'm sorry that I'm just not hearing you clearly at the moment, and it's not about the language. It's about the sound in the Hangout. So let me say hello to other students, and let me check to see if it's a problem we all have, or if it's just something with your connection. Okay, so bear with me with that. Let me say hello to. Let me say hello to hello to Jarno. Hello, Jarno. No? Okay, let me say hello to Liliana. Hello, Liliana.
Good morning, Hamish. How are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you.
I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear it. Welcome back. Good to see you in class. Let me also say hello to... no problem at all. You're very welcome. Let me say hello again to Kim. Hello, Kim.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How are you today?
Oh, I'm very well. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. Kim, it's good to have you back in class. Glad to have you here. Let me say hello.
Yes, very
Yep.
nice to meet you again.
Okay, good stuff. Good stuff. Let me see. Amanda. Hello, Amanda. How are you?
I am fine, and you?
Pretty good. Amanda, where are you from?
I'm from Brazil.
Brazil. Okay. And are you working or are you studying right now?
I'm studying right now.
Okay. What are you studying?
I'm still in high school.
Oh, right. Okay. And what do you want to do after you finish high school?
I still don't know.
Okay, still thinking about it. Well, that's okay. That's okay. I think I was the same way. Well, Amanda, it's nice to have you in class today. Thanks for joining us. Let me say hello to Bill. Hello, and welcome back, Bill. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you, teacher. Nice to meet you again.
Yeah, it's good to have you in class. I hope we get a good practice for you today. Let me say and welcome back. Hello to Carlos. Hello, Carlos. Oh, I can't hear you yet. Need to unmute that microphone again.
Okay.
Oh, that's much better. let's start again. Carlos, how are you today?
Fine, very good. But today the weather is has changed.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Today is raining and windy.
I'm really sorry to hear that because.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, I think I saw a cat. Was that a cat behind you?
Yeah.
Let me see him. Oh, all right, okay.
Yeah,
But I thought I saw
more
an
or
animal
less.
flicker passes. That looks pretty bad. Let me let's see if I can beat that. Let's see. Oh no, it's looking pretty good here in Tennessee.
Okay.
Yeah. I've got no problems here with the weather. I'm very happy to report that things are a little bit better than they were yesterday.
We changed the weather.
We swapped it around. Yeah, I think you must have given me that good weather, and if that's the case, well, thanks, Carlos. I appreciate that. It was a nice gift for me today.
You're welcome.
Good to have you in class, Carlos. I look forward to talking about this stuff with you. Jarno, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Excellent. It's good to see you again. It's been a while. How are you today?
I'm after bits. Well.
You're appealing to my British English side, and thank you very much.
Yeah,
I haven't heard that expression since I moved here, since I moved to the United States. Now, remind me, and of course for the rest of the class, tell me, what do you do?
Me, I work as a nurse, and I just want to practice my English language.
Okay, that's great. And this is a good place for us to do that here on Verbling, and of course in this class as well. So, Jarno, thank you so much for joining us.
It's nice to be here. Yes.
All right. Oh, I'm glad to hear it. Let me see. Jose, how's the sound with you, Jose? Let me click on you there. You look. I think you might be having some technical problems there. So I'm going to do that. Yeah, the sound just isn't working. If you want to try going out and coming back in, Jose, maybe that'll fix it. So because I just can't hear it, and it's not about the language. It's just about the sound that you've got. Okay, so I'm going to do that. I'm not blocking. I'm just taking you out of the room. If you want to try coming back in, maybe the sound will be better for us. Okay, so maybe a technical problem there. Before we start, one more student for me to say hello. So, how do I say your name? Let's see. I don't know because it's Let's see. I'm putting you on camera there. Do you how do I say your name, sir? Oh. Okay, I'm gonna have to come back to you because I don't know how to say it. And let's get started, right? We're looking at job interview questions today, and there are three I have in mind. Three I really want to cover all week, okay? So the first one, let me check my list, and I attached this to the class description as well, of course. The first one, tell me about yourself. So let me put these in the Verbling chat and take a look at these, have a think about them, and then we can get started. That first one, tell me about yourself. Okay. Second one. Where is it? Ah, yes. My favorite question in the world. I mean, we talked a lot about this yesterday, so maybe we'll not talk about it so much today. What kind of people do you find it difficult to work with? And the last one, how do you influence people to accept your ideas? There we go. All right, there we go. I know someone's got a dog there in the background. If you're not talking, if you can mute that microphone, so we don't have the dog in the class, because I'm worried he might run amok, he might make a mess in the classroom floor. I don't know what's going to happen. So if you're not talking, you can mute that microphone, so we can reduce the disturbing noise to a minimum. Okay. So oh yes, that's a lot better. Thank you. Well done. All right. That first question, tell me about yourself. It's so good to practice it, because it's very, very likely in an interview with an English-speaking company that is the very first question they're going to ask, and they're going to be very interested in your answer. Please, everybody here, if someone asks you that question, especially in a job interview, what are the things that we're going to want to talk about to answer that? How do we answer, tell me about yourself?
If I can,
please go ahead.
Say something. Of course, if they don't know my name, I can introduce myself to them and
sure.
Tell my age and maybe tell a little bit about my family and my background. So where I come from and what I've been doing in my life, a little bit, and maybe then talk about my professional career. So current situation, where I work or do I work at all, and why I want to apply just this particular job.
I like all of that. I like all of that, because why? Job, absolutely. Okay, so let me see if I was using my listening ears there. We talked about what we introduce ourselves, yeah, and that's a great thing to do at the start. I mean, you know, if you're at a job interview, I think they're going to know your name, but why not say it? I think the first thing out of your mouth can be, oh, hello, my name's, yes, and you can talk a little bit about your background. Absolutely, you're going to want to talk about the things that you're good at, of course, your strengths and your skills, your qualifications, the job you're doing right now, maybe some of your work history, and absolutely, my goodness, you're going to want to say something about why you're sitting here, right? Why you're here in the room, or why you're with them on Skype or on the telephone. You want to give them a very clear signal as to why you want this job. And of course, there are a few things we can say in answer to, hey, why do you want the job, right? So I got to say, I like, Jono, I like that structure. Why don't you give it a try and give us an answer to that? So, hey, Jono, tell me about yourself.
Okay. I work as a nurse at the moment for my city. So I'm a city worker, and I come from East Finland, but I have lived here in West Finland for about 10 years now, and I've built up my work, my career here. So I have studied here and I have worked here, and why I here sitting next to you and talking to you, I want this job, and I feel that I would be a great worker for you. Yeah. Okay. But I already got nervous. That's the thing. When I started to tell about myself, like in serious way, like.
Yeah.
So it's not so easy to tell about your backgrounds and stuff like that.
I think
funny
that,
feeling.
I think that's a really interesting point, and I think it. I know for a lot of people, and I would feel the same way to talk about ourselves with a stranger, with someone we haven't met before. Yeah, that can make us nervous. Well, how do we fix that? I mean, Joanna, what do you think? What can we do to feel more comfortable answering a question like this?
Maybe rehearsal it, like
Mm-hmm.
just practice and go to interviews. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
the main thing,
Mm-hmm.
you know. If you don't get lucky at the first time, you can go and try another one, always. And maybe that's the way to get confident and then have a maybe a new career and get a new job.
Mm-hmm. I think there's some really good advice there, and hey, we know that if we don't prepare for an interview, we're going to look badly prepared, and I don't think we're going to get that job because if the only thing an employer was looking for was someone with skills and experience and the qualifications that match the job they want, well, we wouldn't need a job interview, would we? Because you would just send in your application and they'd be like, okay, right, got it, fine, you got the job. They'll give you a call. Can you start on Monday? It sounds great. It would be nice and easy. But they need a little bit more than that. And with most jobs, at least they need to hear you on the phone. I would say most jobs, of course, they're going to want to see you and probably see you in person as well, maybe for a final interview. So there are reasons, that there are plenty of things you do in a job interview that they're interested in that goes beyond just the cold hard facts of your skills and qualifications, because you might have, hopefully you have the skills and qualifications necessary for the job, but maybe 20 other people do as well. So the way that we answer these questions in an interview to show that we are, a professional person, a well-considered person, an enthusiastic, a passionate person, a person who's sitting at that job interview for well-considered reasons, who knows what they want in their career. These are things we can talk about if someone asks us, tell me about yourself. It is a wonderful opportunity for us to explain why we're the right person for the job. And some of that will be about background. Yes, about repeating those key points about strengths, skills, that are our greatest skills, our qualifications, our work background, our career history, our current job, and of course why we think we're the best person for the job as well. So if we talk about these things, if we're well prepared, it's a fantastic start to a job interview. If we don't prepare, and if we struggle with this question, with tell me about yourself, it's not going to go well. It's not going to go well because everyone going for an interview with an English-speaking company, we should expect this question. I've carried out a lot of interviews in my time, and I've been to a lot of job interviews in my time as well. This question comes up. It absolutely comes up 99% of the time because it's a good question. But if we prepare for it, and as Jarno is saying, if we practice it, and if we practice it in a thought out way, we can give a very good answer. Yeah, and of course, if we do well in interviews, it doesn't mean we're definitely getting the job, but a good interview performance where we've done our preparations, where we've practiced, we've thought out our answers, we're giving good specific answers. There's no guarantee you get the job, but if you do well in an interview, of course that is going to increase your confidence and increase your sense of calm and comfort in the next interview as well, because you will be able to tell yourself, oh yeah, I can do this. This is not the most difficult thing in my life. It's hard work, but I know I can give a good performance. I can give good, clear answers in a job interview. But we can only say that if we do those preparations, if we practice well and think out, what am I good at? What's a good example of my greatest strengths and my greatest skills? If we do that work, and that's hard work, especially if you're working or studying at the same time. I'm not pretending that's easy at all, but it's very possible. Yeah, and this is about that hard work and careful preparation. And if you have a series of interviews like that, you're just going to get closer and closer to getting that job that either the one you really want or the one that you're just meant to have, right? It all sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Goodness me. Jonah, thank you for that example. I thought that was very nice, actually, and I appreciate. We can feel nervous answering a question like that, but again, the better we do, the more confidence we can have in the answer, and the more enthusiastic and confident we're going to appear as well. And
you're welcome. You're welcome.
Oh, and so it was good to have that example. And if we speak with confidence, they're going to hear it. Yeah. If we speak nervously, again, they're going to hear that as well. So the more confident. Sometimes, of course, we're going to feel anxious in an interview, and that's okay. But we need to come across, we need to appear as confident as possible. Not arrogant, not crazy confident in things we can't do, but confident in our own abilities and confident in ourselves as a professional person looking for a job. Yeah, because no one else is going to speak for you in this job interview. It's up to you to tell them about all those good things that you can do, right? This is what the interview's for, and they're looking for someone who is confident, for someone who can speak honestly and clearly about all the good things they can do. They don't need a superhero. They don't need someone who is perfect, but they want someone who is a good fit. And that essence, that sense of a good fit, that's what this interview is often about. Because as I say, they have your application. They know what your skills and experiences are, but they also want to know about you and the way you present yourself, the way you speak, the way you answer questions, if you're calm, if you're confident, all those good things, yeah. I'd love to hear someone else take this question. Let me see. Let me go to Adam again. Adam, would you like to practice this question with us?
Of course, yes.
Oh, yes. There we go. Thank you for that. So yeah, let me start right now. Tell me about yourself.
Okay, my name is Adham Imam. I'm a pharmacist, and I'm working now as an application consultant in a software company end-to-end solution, implementing the software in the hospital, gathering the information from the users and from the managers of the hospital, what they need in the hospital to be automated and to facilitate their working in the hospital, and also train analyzing this requirement and implementing the requirement and training the users and troubleshooting their workflow and troubleshooting their issues and answering and replying in emails and all of this of course with the knowledge of the pharmacy and working with the pharmacists and working with the physicians. So it's easy for me to deal with all of those people.
Okay. You talk about, you mentioned troubleshooting. What is is there a process or a procedure you follow when there's a problem? How do you go about troubleshooting?
Of course, there is two types of troubleshootings I met with before implementation, before beginning life in the system, and after and during the life. So troubleshooting before, just to communicate with the team and to discuss what is the best solution for working. And in case there is an issue in life, I try to fast to solve this issue as I could, because it affects the business and affects patient health and patient safety.
That last point, my goodness, that last point I think is the most important thing that you could talk about really in an answer like that. And I would say again, well, not again, I would say for the first time, I think in this class, to everybody here, the most likely thing that someone is going to ask a question about is the last thing you say, because it's the thing we most easily remember, and it just makes sense in any conversation for us to think, okay, oh, that was the last, okay, now I'm going to ask about that. So you want it to be a good thing. And so that's why it's a great idea when we answer questions, if we're giving examples of things that we've done, of things we've achieved, of accomplishments, or of our strengths and our skills, it's great to talk about the outcome. And Adam, I mean, your example, you talked about, well, it's you know, this way of troubleshooting, for example, and the way of communicating, it's adding value to the business, but it's also improving the health of the people that it's designed to help. So you're hitting two really good points there, and I can imagine an interviewer wanting to hear more about that, and also being very happy that they're speaking to someone who is aware of how they add value, of how the work that they do either makes money for the organization, or helps the reputation, or helps the smooth running of the operation. Yeah. So I thought that was a really good example. Thank you for that one, Adam. That was a very nice one.
Thank
yeah.
you. Your comment. Thank you.
All right. So so that was a good example of talking, about the current job, and that's something, of course, we have to do. If we really should do, rather, if someone says, "Tell me about yourself," to talk about our current position, and of course, if we're not working right now, or to talk about previous studies or previous jobs, just to talk about these things, and to give good examples and just make it clear. There are some jobs we could just say what we're doing, and people will be like, "Oh, okay, got it." Other jobs, maybe there are some technical issues. Just in terms of your own responsibilities, make it very clear about what you are actually doing. What do I do in my job? What are my responsibilities? What are my actions? And just as Adam did right there in his example, what does that mean for the organization? Whether I'm working for a small company or a very large organization, what contribution do I make to the success of this company? Yeah, it's so good to make that link, because if you can do it in your current job, the interviewer is thinking, "Oh, okay, well, he or she is going to do that for us as well. He or she is going to understand the link between what they do and our success." And that's really, really very important, because it tells us a lot about motivation, and it tells us a lot about professionalism as well. Yeah, so good things to talk about. Excuse me, let me go to Liliana. I would love to hear your answer to this question. Liliana, tell me about yourself.
Okay, I work as a customer agent in a company for almost 8 years. So I have an experience in this field, and I like continue working in this area. I'm considered I'm responsible because I always try to do my best in my job, and I had the skills to deal with customers in that situation and try to help them answering or helping in whatever they want. I'm considered I'm a patient person. I always try to hear their problems and try to have a good empathy with them and keep myself in calm in difficult situations. In my previous work, I always deal with difficult customers.
Mm-hmm.
I always try to first to listen to them and try to find a good solution for their problems. I think we have to work in having a good connection with customers, and I think we are the first image when the customer called to the company.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very important to show them that we are always able to to what? We are always willing to help them and to find to give them a right answer.
Mm-hmm.
What else? And I'm a good team player because in my previous work I have to work with 80 peoples, and
Mm-hmm.
we always try to be in a good environment because it's good for all of us, and try to collaborate, to have a good collaboration between all of the agents. If you had a good job environment, you always work better, because I think the environment influences your way of working. So I would like to.
Uh-huh. Well, no, okay. And tell me, Liliana, what does a good job environment look like, or a good working environment? What does it look like, and how do you? I mean, what do you do to help that environment? How do you help it?
Okay,
how do you improve that?
In jobs always we found people that don't, or maybe you don't like to other co-workers.
Mm-hmm.
But, I think it's. I always try to communicate with them, because I think communication is the key.
Mm-hmm.
It's the key.
Yeah.
And to have and try to understand them, or the reason that maybe they don't or they are in a good mood, but not to have a conflict with them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think if you work in a good environment,
Mm-hmm.
It improves your work. You work with a good energy. So
Mm-hmm.
I try to always to deal with these situations, to get a conflict. And I think it's better to have a good connection with almost all of your coworkers, and to help each other.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Liliana, thank you. I think you gave me some really nice details there in that answer, and I mean there were a couple of things you talked about which was great, and the first one was talking about dealing with customer problems from that side, and you, of course you also talked about maybe problems within the team, within the people you're working with as well, and those can both be excellent things to talk about. Of course, depending on the job you're interviewing for. If it's a job where they're asking for, good teamworking skills, communication skills, conflict resolution, that ability to solve a problem, whether it's with the customer or whether it's with a colleague, whether it's with a client or a customer, any of these things, they're going to be very happy to hear that you place a focus on that you understand the importance of that. And you made a really good point about if you are working in customer service, then yes, maybe you could be the only person that customer ever speaks to from that organization. So you are representative. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So to acknowledge that, to be aware of that, and to work on that basis, thinking, this phone call, I am the company, or this interaction with the customer, I am the company. So I have to give them the very best service. These are going to be great things to hear about. Now, when we look at that question, tell me about yourself. If we're talking about the actions that we take, we should use I. Yeah, and it's very easy to start using we, and to start talking quite generally about the things that are important. Absolutely, but I would always encourage someone in a job interview, if they're talking about the things that that they do, if they're talking about their responsibilities, or even the things that are important for their job. Let's use I. So it's important for me to represent the company, and I always make sure that I address the customer's issues.
I
of course, yeah.
Something, because in the last interview I had last year, the interviewer is from my country, and of course the interview was in English, and she asked me, "What are your responsibilities?" And I understood that that she asked me what are my responsibilities in job. So I asked about my job, and then she said to me, "No, I asked you about your responsibilities at home." So I always thinking in job, not at home. So
sure, yeah.
She said, "No, you answer in a wrong way. I think, but you don't specify what are my responsibilities at home, and we are talking about job." I said, "No, you don't. You didn't understand me." So I think it was a misunderstanding between both of us. But if you are in a job interview, you are talking about job, not about your responsibilities at home. So that's why I felt that interview.
I wish I was there. It sounds like an interesting interview and an interesting question for someone to ask. I wouldn't normally ask that question in a job interview, but if they really wanted to know about domestic responsibilities, I suppose they could. Well, most of the time, I would say, it's not relevant. And again, a company in the United States, I think it would be very unlikely for them to ask a question like that, because it's a little bit close to, do you have kids and are you married? And they really can't get into those things. So yes, interesting. But yes, of course, you're right. I mean, if the question is just what are your responsibilities, then absolutely, I would as well assume that they meant at work. Yes, and again, I would be using the I all over the place. And this is not about, and I mean this for everybody. This is not about saying, "Oh, I do everything." For the company, it's not about being arrogant. And of course, if you want to give credit to other people, if you want to talk about the good things you've learned from other people, from a manager or a mentor or just a colleague, a member of your team at work, if you want to talk about a good example of a team you've been in, great, give that credit to other people in your team. That's a good thing, because we want to work with people who can work with people, right? But also the most important thing the interviewer is interested in, their biggest concern, of course, is you. Not concern. Their biggest interest is you. So it's very, very useful if we use I, that pronoun is going to be significant. If we talk about we, then the interviewer is left unsure about whether you mean that's something you do or that's something the team does. And of course, I know that it could be the same piece of work, but if we don't use I, we don't get the credit. Yeah, we're not going to get the credit for that. So it's tempting to use we because it sounds softer. But if you do something well, and if you have that responsibility, then it's an I. Yeah, I have responsibility for this, or it's important that I do this in my job. And here's an example of me doing that. Yeah, so it's definitely a good thing to get into the habit of using I in an interview, because again, you're the only person in that space that can talk for you. So you've got to make sure you give them as many good examples of stuff that you do, and very clearly that you do, as possible. And that's really going to help, because they're looking for reasons to hire you, right? They want to be persuaded. If they didn't want to give you the job, you wouldn't have the interview. They don't. This is they're not doing it because they like giving interviews. It's no one likes going for an interview. Most people don't like giving interviews either. So if you have the interview, you must have a chance at getting this job. Otherwise, what would be the point, right? So they're looking for evidence. So give them evidence. Give them those examples. That was for everybody, by the way. Liliana, I want to say thanks for that, for answering those questions. And I liked those examples you were giving. I really liked your focus about customer service and team working. and you were telling me about your process for dealing with customer problems and your process for improving that working environment as well, and the importance of both those things. So that I think you were talking about some really helpful things, and then I think you, of course, you can make those answers even better. But I liked what I was hearing. So thank you for that. And I think those were helpful examples for everyone here. So nice one. Thanks, Liliana. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Hamish.
All right, let me go on and see. Yes, let me go to Carlos. Hello again, Carlos.
Hi. Hello.
Hello. Hello. Hey. Well, let's start with question number one. Tell me about yourself.
Yeah. Okay. My name is Carlos. I'm from Spain. I work. My job is engineer. I am engineer, and I work nowadays. I work as a freelance. I have my specialties are automotive and facilities, industrial facilities, and I have 10 years of experience in that field. Okay, and but for example, I do my tasks in automotive, for example, are to legalize performance in cars and lorries, for example, in vehicles in general. I try to legalize this performance, these modifications in vehicles, to make that these vehicles be able to be able I don't know what is to let these vehicles can be able to drive, no, to what, I don't know what is I don't know the word.
Mm-hmm.
But,
okay.
Yeah.
No, and I'm not an engineer, so I can't help you either. I think. What you mentioned that you're working freelance. So what kind of are you working for individual? I mean, are you working with individual customers? Are you working for large companies? What kind of business are you doing at the moment?
Yeah. Usually I work for small companies, because I job I am only I am alone to work,
mm-hmm.
I only can to work for small companies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that's all. Usually I receive the work and I do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what kind of conversation do you have before you start work for one of those companies? I mean, do you have a meeting? Do you visit them on site? What kind of communications do you have with a small company before you start work for them?
Yeah, I have a group of customers.
Mm-hmm.
And when these customers need to not usually they are companies that they do this kind of work, and when they need to solve a problem, they call me.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's all.
Okay. Okay, thank you for that, Carlos. I like the answer, and again, of course, we're going to get unique answers from everybody here in the classroom, and it's actually really helpful to have someone who is working as a self-employed freelancer, because that gives us a very different set of answers to listen to as well. So really helpful for this class. You mentioned at the start, you're saying, excuse me as I lose my voice completely. There we go. You mentioned that you are, that you're a freelancer, and then you talk about the things that you're doing in particular, and you say you talk about my specialities, yeah, and it's a funny thing about that word. We have a British English pronunciation, which should just be my specialty. We have my specialties, my specialities, same word, same spelling, I think. But if we talk about my specialities, it sounds a little. The most common way to talk about that is actually really in a restaurant. It's if we're going to look at if we're going for a meal and we ask the waitress, "Oh, what's good?" and I'll talk about the speciality of the house. Yeah, so it sounds a little bit like that. However, so a much easier way to do this is simply to use it as a verb. Okay, so instead of my specialities, we can just say I specialize, and that automatically it sounds like a more technical, a more precise thing. So either, and let me put those both on there. So I specialize.
Yeah. And
with American English, we use the Z. In British English, I think we would probably use an S for that. But the same sound, I specialize. Or if you want to talk, if you're talking about a collection of things, we can talk about my areas of expertise. Okay, so there's my. And of course, Carlos, in the work that you do, it's natural for you to have particular areas that either that you're best at or the areas that you have most experience in. And of course, if you don't tell them, they're going to ask. So I think it's really great when you're answering that question, tell me about yourself, to give them that answer very quickly. And you did that. And I think that was really a really helpful thing to do. And it's, sometimes the technical language, when we're talking about our jobs, sometimes that can be quite straightforward. Other times it's something that we need to look into and think, what vocabulary do I need? How do I make this clear? And I don't mean how do I make it clear to the average person in the street. I mean, how do I make it clear to another engineer what I do when I'm speaking English? So good to look at that language and make sure that we're proficient, that we're practiced, and that we're comfortable talking about all the things that we do. And there are some jobs, and I've included engineer, scientist, things like that. It can mean there's a lot of language that we need to learn in English, so that we can do that. But I like the answers, and it was giving me a clear idea. When I asked those follow-up questions, it was really helping me have an idea of how you operate and how you're communicating with companies, and that they're coming back, and that you have a few, sort of on your portfolio, as it were. And you talked about the smaller companies, and that makes sense. And we can say, when someone asks us, well, what kind of people do you work for? It's fine to say, well, it's just me, and you can say, yes, I'm self-employed. I'm a one-man operation, or a one-woman operation, depending on who's giving the answer. And of course that's perfectly appropriate, because sometimes you need 20,000 people to solve a problem. Sometimes you just need one person to solve a problem. So the scale, there's not a wrong answer here, but it's great to be clear about the kind of experience you're having as a freelancer and the kind of companies that you're working with. That can give people a really good picture of that current that what you're doing right now, because they want to know. Of course they do. Your current
Teacher?
work. Go ahead.
Teacher, sorry. Hello, guys. If you work, if you have experience as a freelancer, it is very good for you, guys. You must have perfect skills as time management, as self-motivation. You're perfect guys for company if you have 1 or 2 years as a freelancer. it is a good plus for you, really.
You're right. No, I think that's really a really positive point, and I think of course, everyone who has worked for themselves, who as a freelancer or self-employed, absolutely, my goodness, we know that the good thing is our boss is the best person in the world, right? We couldn't have a better boss if we're self-employed, and we also know if we don't get out of bed, we're not going to get paid. So there is that. Yes, I agree with you 100% there in terms of when someone asks someone who has been self-employed about self-management, time management, motivation, organization, we can give great examples about that because we did all of that. We absolutely covered it because no one else was doing it for us. And especially if we could point to a successful period of self-employment when we can say, yes, I had a number of clients and look, here's all the good things. Here's all the great things they were telling about us. I had great results. I was able to, first of all, I was able to make a living, but also my customers keep coming back because they know I'm organized, I'm punctual, I'm professional, I'm an expert in these areas. So it gives you well, it makes it easier, I think, to talk about your experience because it's all right? We don't have to share the credit with anyone else. So yes, there are a lot of benefits. Of course, it doesn't, there are plenty of people who don't want to work as a self-employed person for all sorts of reasons, and that's okay. But yes, I absolutely agree. If you have that experience, it can be a real asset in a job interview when it comes to giving good, clear examples of the things that you can do. Yeah, because you kind of have to do everything when you're self-employed, which is kind of part of the fun, of course, as well. Yeah, very nice. Okay, no problem at all. Let me go to Bill. Hello again, Bill.
Hello, teacher.
I have to ask you, since we're having this class, Bill, tell me about yourself.
Yes. My name is Bill. I'm 30 years old, and my major is material and engineer. I graduated from year 2005, and I have almost 8 years of experience in paint coating industry now. And I know that your company is looking for technician in product line in your paint workshop. So I'm here, and I think my qualification is very good fit for the job. Yes, I was provided. I provided in my last job. I provided technical support for customer that buy paint and coatings from our company, and inspect and test automotive paint also, and also maintain quality control records and constantly seeking new ways to improve customer service. Uh, and otherwise, where I'm a quick learner, if job company have a new product, I will take control of everything very soon, and also I'm really going very good with other colleagues. And I always listen to other people's opinions and encourage our team to express themselves and finish the job the best way it can be. Finally, I love to work with your company because I know it will be a very good opportunity for my career to be developed more and more. Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Bill. Yes. Hey, Bill, you're hired. Absolutely. I'm convinced. I like this structure, and I think you give a realistic structure to that answer. I know it's difficult when we're first thinking about these answers because, of course, hey, we absolutely have to think it out, and sometimes we're going to write it out. I would never recommend to someone that they write the whole thing because yes, maybe we can memorize that, but it's never going to sound right. So, but I know, Bill, you had some notes there to look at, and that can be very helpful when we're practicing this. The more confidence you get, and the more comfortable you feel with your answer, you're not going to need those notes anymore. And of course, if you don't need the notes, you're going to be looking. Either way, if you're on Skype, of course, you're going to look straight at the camera. If you're in an interview, you're going to look them in the eye when you're listening, and when you're talking to them as well. You're not going to look too hard, but you're going to give them a look to show that you're engaged. But I know you weren't. You were checking your notes to make sure you could give me a clear answer. So that's no problem at all. I love clear answers. I love a clear structure to an answer as well, because they help me just as they help any interviewer to know where we're going. It gives me a clear signal that this is someone who has done their homework, who is prepared, and who is taking the interview seriously as well. Because when you give an interview, this is time out of your day, of course, just as it is for the job hunter as well. So if we're both prepared, if we're both taking it seriously, that can be a very helpful conversation, and we have a good chance to get the things that we need to hear, and of course for the interviewee, the things that they need to say to give them the best chance of getting the job as well. So lots of nice details there. I think I would probably have a number of follow-up questions for you, Bill, in terms of more details about all the, in terms of customer service and teamwork and things like that. I would love to hear in an actual interview. I'm sure I would love to hear more about those things. But I liked it because you talked about the education, you talked about past work, current job, and of course you do what I love to hear, which is you're in this made-up job interview, which is an even better trick than with a real interview. You tell me why you want the job, and that's really the answer to why are you sitting there today? Why have you come to this interview? Why have you applied? So really, really helpful when we have this tell me about yourself question we start at the beginning, go through that work history, talk about maybe our areas of expertise or our strengths, whatever the job is looking for. We want to give that good match. But to finish, I think it really makes a lot of sense to finish with, hey, and that's why I'm here today, because I know all about your company. Either I used your products, or I've heard so many good things about you from your customers. I looked at the website or I love the way that you train and develop your staff. You could even say you're a really successful company, and I know you're here to stay, and I want to be a part. I want to be a part of that success. It's okay to talk about these things. If you see a company and you do your homework and you see that this has, they are a good, robust, financially solvent company, that's okay. That's okay to give that as one reason why you want to work for them. It's like you're saying, hey, you guys are great. I'd really love to. I want to be great with you. Yeah, these are good things to talk about. So Bill, thanks for those answers. That was very solid and detailed. And the more confident you get, absolutely, the less you'll need these notes, and the more you'll be able to focus on the person who's listening, and that'll make it even better as well. Yes. Yeah, very nice, very nice. I see I've only got a minute left, so I just want to sort of recap and say, of course, I think, let me just check my whiteboard there. Yeah, we're doing this class again we can continue with this if you're around in 5 hours time. Okay, so this afternoon for me, and I know that'll be a different time for you. But if anyone wants to join me again from this class, and of course we'll have other students, we can continue practicing answers to that first question, to tell me about yourself. But we can also move on to other questions attached to the description for this and the next class as well. So it'd be really great if you're able to join me for that. Please do. We'll mix it up with some other new students as well. Thank you to everyone who answered the questions today, and thank you for those other comments and discussions. Let me leave you with the Facebook page, because I would love for you to join me and follow me on Verbling, of course, but also follow me on Facebook, because that will help you. Because every weekend I put up my Verbling schedule, so you'll see. This is I'm teaching later on today. You'll see the classes that I'm doing every week here on Verbling, and I really want to it will help me get to know you better and also help you with your English as well. So thank you so much. Thanks for your time today.
Great class. Thank you, Hamish.
I'll see you again soon. Okay, you're very welcome. Bye-bye. Okay.
Bye-bye. Thank you.